us from expectations. You can still tell us your name, where you're joining us from, and your expectations from today's session. A few housekeeping rules. I just need you to give me your attention for the next even less than an hour, right? Because we're going to finish 7 o'clock. And I have something special for you at the end. So wherever you are, just like I said, you don't need to see other people on the call. Just find a quiet place. Make sure that all your questions are asked in the Slido link we've provided. I'll take them at the end. Make sure your microphone is on mute, right? Just listen till the end. Be comfortable. Ask your questions. We're here for you, okay? Now, this is the link, and if you prefer to scan the QR code, you can also do that, but it's right in the chat box for you. So who is this webinar for, right? We're looking for beginners that have zero tech experience and you want to get a high-paying tech job, or people who actually want to transition, and your transitioning may mean that you've been in the world of maybe software, or whichever case, even if you don't have any background, you've not been a science student, you don't know anything about engineering or anything, all those things are not relevant as far as your cloud journey is concerned. So people who are like from zero, I just want to learn this thing, those are the people that this webinar is for. So what should you expect? A beginner-friendly breakdown of cloud computing, the benefits, and how you can get started. So now, what exactly is cloud computing? Like, simply put, cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet, right? And these services are like servers, applications, databases, storage, etc. And you may be wondering, what are all these things I just said? If you look at this image, you can see that what we're saying is that over the internet, we're delivering servers, we're delivering storage, we're delivering mobile data, we're delivering applications, we're delivering database over the internet, right? The same way you have an internet, and that way it gives you access to your Gmail account, you can access emails over the internet. We're saying that cloud computing actually gives you an opportunity to access a whole server over the internet, and we'll break it down as we go along, okay? So everybody that is on the call, you use cloud every day, and I'll prove that to you. When I talk about cloud computing, I'm talking about supplying secure services to end users where you don't need to worry about where your actual information is stored, right? But you can always be assured that when you need it, it is available on demand and it is easy to access and reliable. We all use cloud every day. If you have a Netflix account, you're using cloud computing. If you have a Gmail account, you're using cloud computing. If you've ever heard of SoundCloud or Spotify, all of these things run on cloud computing. Now, think about Gmail, for example. I always use the example of Google Drive, especially when I'm trying to explain to you that we're delivering services over the internet. So think about it. You have an image or a video file on your laptop, right? If it's on your laptop, the only way you can access it is when you have access to your laptop. But the moment you upload that file or that music, that MP3 file, that MP4 video, or that JPEG, the moment you upload it to your Google Drive, what happens? As long as you have access to internet, you would always have access to that image. So you don't need to always have your laptop with you when you want to access whatever is on your Google Drive. So that's why we say Google is a form of cloud computing, because it gives you access to your information over the internet. As long as you have internet access and you have your login details, you can use your friend's laptop. You can go to China, you can go to Australia, wherever it is that you go to, you would always have access to any data that is stored on the cloud. So when we talk about what cloud computing is, we're saying, imagine if you can do all of that. I just started with documents, right? Image, you've uploaded it to Google Drive, and you can find it anywhere around the world, right? As long as you can access internet and you have your login details. Now think of that in the context of servers. So imagine a whole computer. You actually build a whole computer on what we call a cloud provider. And anywhere you go around the world, you have access to that entire computer. Like I'm talking about, don't worry, I'll tell you about our bootcamp at the end, where you actually build a whole computer by yourself on the internet, and you will see on a cloud provider, and you will see how you can access it. So that's what cloud computing is. You can access servers over the internet. You don't actually need to have physical servers. You can access databases over the internet. You don't need to have them physically, right? So you can access, just like I said for Google Drive, you have all of these files. You don't need to have your laptop with you because you have uploaded it to a cloud provider, in this case, Google. Everywhere you go all around the world, you will always have access to your information. That is what cloud computing is, and it gets clearer as we go along, okay? So when I say that, okay, I'll come back to Netflix, but the biggest cloud providers we now have globally, we have what we call Amazon Web Services. Some of you may have heard of AWS. We have what we call Microsoft Azure. We have Google Cloud Platform. Those are the three major global cloud providers globally. So what these guys have creatively done is that they've gone to many organizations and told them that, see, as an organization like Netflix, so Netflix is an organization that runs on a cloud provider called AWS. So Netflix, just like I said, for you as an individual, Netflix does not have to manage any servers by themselves. They have all their servers running on AWS. So that way they can focus on their core business operations. That's what cloud computing is all about. It's really revolutionary. So these global cloud providers, they host your computing needs rather than you managing physical machines. So that can be an individual like you using Google Drive, or a whole Netflix as an organization running on Amazon Web Services. The concept is the same. You don't have to manage servers by yourself. You don't have to manage your computing needs by yourself. You outsource it to a cloud provider, and then they give you access to your information whenever you need it. That's what cloud computing is really, really cool. And that's what the world is doing right now. So life before cloud, what was it about? The use of physical self-managed data centers. So Netflix, for example, even though they're a media company, their focus always has to be, because I mean, imagine how many movies are on Netflix. Who can guess the number of movies on Netflix? Give me in the chat box. Millions of movies are on Netflix. Imagine they can't just store. They have to think, where are we actually going to store all these movies? You have just 10 movies or so on your laptop. You've downloaded a few series. Your laptop is already full. So you can imagine where Netflix has to store all those movies. They have to have servers, databases where they can store that. And cloud providers have gone to tell them that, see, you guys are a media company. Don't focus all your energy on servers. Look at this guy. He has a headache because they're managing physical servers. Don't focus your energy on looking for servers and how to store your movies. Let us store your movies for you, right, on our cloud provider, AWS. And anytime your users need access to movies, they just log into their Netflix account and we provide the movies for them. So you don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but that's exactly what is going on. So you log into your Netflix account. It's not Netflix servers that actually have those movies stored. They have contracted it out to a major cloud provider, AWS in this case. So I hope it's getting clearer what cloud computing really is. Okay, so yeah, somebody said millions. That's good. So if you have ever wondered, how exactly does Netflix do it? How do they manage 250 million hours of content that people watch every day? It's because they're not managing the servers themselves. They're not managing all the data by themselves. You go on Netflix and they tell you, oh, because you watch this one. That is a lot of data processing going on in their databases, right? You have personalized view. What my Netflix profile looks like is not the same as somebody else's own, because all of this data is being processed using data science, machine learning, and they are delivering something specific to you. All of that has to happen with a lot of computers behind the scene, and Netflix is not managing it. They have outsourced it to a good cloud provider that can do all that backend for them. So their focus is on the contents. Let's just produce good movies. Let's not worry about the technology behind the scenes. So if you've ever thought about Instagram as well, the same thing. Over 2 billion monthly active users globally. That's about 1/3 of the world's population. This continues to increase. The last time I checked, I saw over 1 billion. I checked it today, and like Netflix actually now has over 2 billion active users globally. About 1/3 of the world's population is using Instagram. So how do you think they manage all of that? All of the data processing happening behind the scenes. They need a lot of computers. Each time you upload a picture to Instagram, just like you do on Google Drive, it has to be stored somewhere. You upload your reels, it has to be stored somewhere, and everybody's doing it. So you need lots of processing power. And all of that is because they're able to do it easily because they all leverage cloud computing. So I hope I'm getting you excited about the world of cloud computing and why you should actually care about it. And based on the things that I've said, I'm sure you begin to think of some advantages of cloud computing. I'm sure you can tell by now that, of course, it is cost effective because, if Netflix as an organization or Instagram, if they had to build their own servers by themselves, they're going to spend a lot of money. But building on the cloud helps them to only pay for what they use. So if tomorrow people don't like Instagram again and the number of users reduce, I pray that that's not what happens. But if the number of users reduce significantly, what happens? Netflix is running on Instagram is running on the cloud provider. So if their users change from 2 billion to 500 million, they're only going to pay for exactly what they're using. But imagine Netflix has, if Instagram has projected that, man, well, the next thing that is happening to the world right now, imagine if they run into their physical servers and they've already planned for 2 billion users because that's what they have at the moment. What happens if something goes wrong and people decide not to use Instagram again? So they now have servers that they've bought and they will continue to spend money maintaining them. Meanwhile, there are no users using them. So what cloud does is that it helps you to have a cost-effective model. It goes the other way as well. You're a small organization, you didn't plan to go big because you're like, let me just estimate 100 people as my people. And then the next thing, your website is being accessed by thousands of people. If you build that website on the cloud, it can easily scale. And that's point number 2. You can easily scale up or scale down. So because you've built it on the cloud, you didn't have to buy your own server. What happens is that you just tell your cloud provider, if my customers increase the capacity of what I'm using, and then you just pay for what you've used. If your customers reduce, you pay for what you use. So cloud has made the world of technology very, very cost effective. So I hope you're still following. And then, of course, on the cloud as well, we have users, they're able to experience increased speed and performance. And this happens, I'm sure all of us have been to one website before where they're like, maybe too many people are accessing the website. They say, oh, sorry, the server is down, because too many people were trying to access it at the same time. That doesn't happen on the cloud because the cloud has infinite capacity. So you literally can have so many people accessing things at the same time, and it's not a problem because there is so much capacity on the cloud. Another advantage is that companies can focus on their core business operations, just like I was saying for Netflix. Why should Netflix, instead of producing good movies, be worried about somebody cannot access a movie because one of our servers is down? You will never have that issue because they've outsourced that whole part of their business and they're focusing on good movies, okay? Just like other platforms that use cloud computing. Like I said, Spotify for music, there's so many organizations. Even NASA uses cloud computing. They store so much data on cloud computing. Pinterest uses cloud computing. We have so many organizations, all of them leveraging the power of the cloud to store massive data, and not just store it, to actually make sense of the data. Because what you need to do with data is you need to process it so that you can help customers. And that's why a lot of websites now have recommendation, because they're looking at what you're clicking, they're storing the data, they're processing it, and then they're giving you feedback. So you have your personalized page on Pinterest and they'll tell you, you would like this because you liked this. Okay, so all of that is happening because of the power of cloud computing. And of course, it's easily accessible. People from all over the world can actually access cloud computing because it's global. So you can create an app today and it goes global in minutes because of cloud computing. So I'm sure I've already told you why you need to care about it, but let's talk a bit more about why you should care about cloud computing. These days, what we now see is that cloud is everywhere. I've given you so many examples. There is no way you can tell me that you haven't had a contact with cloud based on all the examples I've given. Even iCloud storage on your iPhone. Your iPhone has limited capacity. They'll tell you so RAM when you buy it and all that. And then after a while, you've exhausted the storage and they say, you know what? Why don't you upload some of your files to iCloud? That is a form of cloud computing. So they extend your storage, so you're able to store some things on the cloud, and then a cloud provided by Apple, and then, you can still use your iPhone as normal. So these days, cloud is everywhere. Over 90% of enterprises now use cloud technology. See, the cloud market is big. The cloud market actually went from $370 billion market in 2020. Today, it's about $913 billion market. That's times 3. And the projection is that by 2030, it's going to reach $2.5 trillion markets. So, which means that when we're talking about markets, it means that businesses are going to be tapping into the potential, and there's going to be a need for people who can actually do cloud computing work. So that leads to the second point. there's going to continue to be a high demand. I checked my LinkedIn profile today. I saw 2 companies reaching out to me. One in Germany, we're looking for cloud DevOps engineers. Would you like to join us? They put the salary there. Another company as well. Would you like to have a further conversation? We're looking for senior DevOps engineers. It happens all the time. And this has been the case since I joined this world of cloud computing. So there's a high demand because organizations are moving their systems to the cloud. They want to tap the potential of the cloud. They don't want to be wasting money on technology again. So that's why we need you. That's why you should care. Because if you're looking to change a career, someone talked about their job and said the market is saturated. That's not the case for cloud computing because organizations are constantly moving. And these are things you can literally, as I'm speaking, you can press ChatGPT in the background and verify these things I'm saying. What's the cloud market? Is there really a demand? What's the average salary? Just check everything. Fact check it. It's online, and we as cloud professionals, this is my world. I'm a cloud DevOps engineer. I just completed a week at work. I'm having this webinar with you. This is what I do on a daily basis. I literally just finished the DevOps assessment for one of my clients, so that's really the world we live in. So this is actually what we experience. High demand for these professionals. And of course, high demand means high salary because, people, they're looking for people that actually have the cloud skills. So cloud professionals earn an average of £60,000 a year, an average, right? And now also there are remote work opportunities. And that's something I know that people are keen about these days. You probably have a family and you're wondering, how do I balance it? You literally can work from anywhere with a variety of job opportunities. And I'll talk about different job opportunities that you can access after learning cloud. And of course, it's easy to start as well. It requires dedication. I won't rule that out. It requires a lot from you, but you can get started. You don't need to have a background. You don't need to have a background. So you can actually get started wherever you are. So what are the kind of roles you can take on, with your cloud knowledge? Haven't seen that why you should care about cloud. You now decide that I'm going to actually learn this field, right? So what are the kind of roles you can do? I'll just highlight a few. I have a number of them. I want to take your questions. I really want to focus on your questions so that, we can hit the nail on the head. But we have something called a cloud support engineer. You can become a cloud support engineer with your cloud computing knowledge. And what do they do? Just like some of you are into IT support. What typically happens is that these professionals help customers to resolve simple to complex issues with cloud services. So they help to advance, they help with troubleshooting. You have people who maybe you're working, maybe, for example, you're a cloud support engineer, you're working in a company like AWS. You could be the one that has been assigned to the Netflix account. And if Netflix is having issues with the services you're providing for them, all you need to do is a support engineer is assigned and then they help them to resolve issues. So they're that bridge between users and cloud service providers, ensuring a seamless experience for customers. That's what cloud support engineer. So if you really like troubleshooting, you like the challenge of looking for the problem behind, you can actually do this, and you can work in various industries. Most of the industries you can work in for all the roles are similar. So I won't repeat them all the time. So these are the kind of industries you can work as a cloud engineer. You can work in technology, you can work in finance, you can work in e-commerce, telecommunications, you can work with AWS, you can work with Flutterwave, you can work with Oracle. As a cloud support engineer, there are lots of opportunities. And of course, the skills you need to, of course, understand cloud platforms. You need to have good problem-solving skills. You need to have good communication skills. And then, on a daily basis, you'll be doing things like responding to customer queries, troubleshooting issues. And then, of course, your earning potential, if you're in the UK and you're starting out, you should be looking at an average of 25,000 to 40,000 pounds. If you're working in Nigeria as a cloud support engineer, you should be looking at nothing less than 500,000 naira as your salary, and then 500,000 as your monthly salary. And then for if you're working, so if you're working in the UK, the 25k to 40k is your annual salary. And if you're working in Nigeria, your salary should be around 500,000 naira monthly, which leads you to about 6 million naira annually. Okay, and then if you're working in the US, you would have something about $40,000 to $75,000. Again, you can ask your friends who are in the UK, the US, if they decide to tell you, and these salaries are real. Okay, and of course, you can go on to become a cloud support specialist, you can become a cloud operations engineer, you can even become a cloud solutions architect. So we have so many roles. Another example is being a cloud solutions architect. We have people who have actually finished us at CloudBooster and they've gone on to get a job as a cloud solutions architect. What do? They help to design cloud systems that meet a customer's needs. And they decide, okay, if a customer comes and says, we actually want to move our systems to the cloud, they need an architect to decide, okay, what cloud provider do you want to use and what services are you going to need? The cloud has so many services. AWS alone has over 200 services. An organization will not use all 200 services at the same time or at the same rates. So a cloud solutions architect needs to be able to help them, just like a building, architect of a building. It's said, okay, what do you need? You actually need a server here. You need a database here. You need this, you need that. And then they're able to put it together and give the company the best value for their migration to the cloud. With this knowledge, you can work in healthcare, you can work in finance, you can work in retail, you can work in the field of technology, okay? And to be a cloud solutions architect, what do you need? You need an understanding of cloud platforms. You need to know the different variety of cloud platforms that are available. You need to have knowledge of cloud design and architecture, okay? And then your career trajectory, you can go on to be a senior cloud architect, you can go on to become a lead cloud architect, you can go on to become a CTO, okay? And the earning potential, similar to what I said before, this one is slightly higher because of the level of complexity of the role. So in the UK, you're looking at nothing less than £45,000 to £70,000 annually. Nigeria, 800,000 naira on a monthly basis, which is about over 9 million, almost 10 million naira annually. Okay, and then US, you're looking at nothing less than $60,000 as your starting salary. You can also work as a cloud DevOps engineer, which is what I've done most of my career, right? Cloud DevOps engineers actually make software. They make sure that software runs efficiently on the cloud. They automate processes, they improve how quickly updates can be released, and so on and so forth. Again, you can work in a variety of industries. They're very similar to what I said before: tech, finance, e-commerce, healthcare. There are lots of opportunities available for you as a cloud DevOps engineer. Salary is similar to what your salary is as a cloud solutions architect as well. You need to understand cloud platform. You need to understand what we call CI/CD pipelines. You need to know how to use DevOps tools like Terraform, Ansible, etc., which are things that we equip you with at CloudBooster. We teach you all of those things. And of course, you can go on to becoming a senior DevOps engineer. You can be a cloud DevOps manager like I am right now. You can be a solutions architect with that knowledge as well. And so on and so forth. We have what we call site reliability engineer. These are just different variations. And I'm sure you can tell the difference, right? From what I'm saying, you can see that we start with support. They're helping customers resolve issues. And then we went to architects, you're defining what the solution is. And we went to DevOps. As a DevOps engineer, you're automating a lot of things, automating processes. We have what we call site reliability engineer as well. Again, another variation, another thing that can come out of your cloud knowledge. That's why I say you have variety of things you can do, depending on what you're more inclined towards. So a site reliability engineer ensures that the reliability and scalability of software systems ensures the reliability, scalability, and performance of software systems, applies software engineering principles to IT operations. So they help to bridge that gap between development and operations teams. They also automate processes, they manage infrastructure, they optimize system performance to minimize downtime. Just like it says, site reliability engineer, they have to make sure that things are always on. The system doesn't go down. Can work in e-commerce, banking, healthcare, various industries, various companies. Can work in Google, AWS, Microsoft, JP Morgan, PayPal with this knowledge. Okay, salary, again, slightly higher because senior site reliability engineer is a bit more complex. The greater the level of complexity, the more the money. So, but you have to start from somewhere and then you keep building your career. As an SRE, we call it SRE, you need to understand cloud infrastructure. You need to understand different monitoring tools, which we teach our CloudBooster. You need to be very good with your scripting languages. You need to be comfortable with coding, right, with site reliability engineer. So it's not every cloud field that requires coding, and coding is not even hard because we're going to teach you a CloudBooster. Because some people, once they hear code, they're like, it's not for me, it is for you, don't run away. Don't run away. So day in the life, monitoring systems, You'll be automating recovery from failures because your responsibility is to ensure that the system remains up. Okay, and the earning capacity, you can see right here again, the one in Nigeria is your monthly salary. So cloud systems administrator, again, that's another role, very similar to very similar to it's actually it's another variant. So what they do is that they manage cloud servers every day, ensuring availability and reliability. So it's similar to SRE, but it's not as complex as SRE. So they set up things like disaster recovery, monitoring, provisioning, etc. Again, very similar to SRE. And then we also have cloud security analyst, or architect. This one is one that people ask about a lot as well. You also have even cloud data. I didn't talk about it here, but for cloud security architects, now these are people that ensure that they protect the cloud system from hackers. Hackers can get anywhere. We've had our bad experiences with hackers as well. Even the most secure systems, you have to make sure that you're hacker proof. So they monitor security issues, because some of you, maybe you have security skills already. I get that question all the time. Oh, I'm already in IT security. Can I learn cloud? Yeah. And then you can learn cloud and you can become a cloud security architect or an analyst, so so they actually ensure, this is huge. Even the biggest of organizations get hacked. I used to work in a big financial services company, and one day their data was out. And of course, these guys had security architect, they had all of this scope, but security is such a huge thing in the world, because as long as you're on the internet, anybody can access you. You just have to always be security. So this is another really, really cool field that you can consider. Okay, again, any potential is high, similar to what I've been saying before. UK, you can have up to £50,000 annually. From Nigeria, almost £1 million on a monthly basis, almost £12 million annually. In the US, you can have about $90,000 annually. And of course, you can go on to become a cloud security lead. You can become the chief security officer of the organization. You can become a cybersecurity manager. Okay. So how do you get started? I'm sure you have all these questions. Now you know that there is a lot of things that you can do. Now you know why you should care about cloud. Now you know what cloud can do for you. Now you know that you have options that you can pick from as somebody who is willing to learn about computing. So how do you get started? How do you go from zero to having a tech, to actually getting experience that will give you the job that you want? So the first thing is you actually have to learn the basics of cloud computing. That's the foundation. You see all those jobs I mentioned, everything, you need to know cloud. So you have to start from somewhere. The second thing is you actually have to get hands-on experience with free cloud accounts. There are even some training platforms that give you, sandbox environments where you can build things on the cloud. So you actually need hands-on. People are going to hire you based on the fact that you've built something on the cloud before. And all of those jobs I talked about, they all have entry-level roles that you can come in with. These are roles that people that finished at Cloud Booster have actually done. So you can actually earn you can earn beginner-friendly certifications as well if you're looking to get started. Don't worry, all your questions I'll take that, and please just keep it in Slido. I can see some questions coming up. I'm just trying not to be distracted. You also need to join a boot camp for structured learning. This is important. We're in a world where this is adult learning. Most likely you're on the call, you have your family, or you're looking to build your family. This is no longer university, or even if you're a university student, that's fine, but this is no secondary school where everything is so structured. So you actually need a program that can actually challenge you, that has a structure in place. And you know that once I enroll on this program, after 18 weeks, after 20 weeks, I'm going to actually get all the knowledge that I need. Because as much as there's information online, it becomes counterproductive when you don't know what to do with the information, or it becomes conflicting, because I can assure you there are lots of resources online. Go from zero to DevOps in 10 hours, and then you start and then you get confused. So you need a bootcamp. You need human beings that can actually take you on that journey. And that's what we do at Cloud Booster. You also need to build a portfolio to showcase your skills. It's not enough for you to be good. You need to know how to sell yourself, especially in the global market. So how is an organization in the US going to find you? You're in Nigeria, you're learning cloud computing, you need to actually know how to do that. These are things that we do at Cloud Booster as well. We teach you how to be visible with your knowledge. And then you have to apply for entry-level jobs or even freelance gigs. And the good thing is, even if you take your training very seriously and you do sufficient product, you can even get into a mid-level job or even a manager job from your training. People have done it. Depends on how seriously you go into this field. So Mistakes that beginners make, sometimes they try to learn alone without hands-on practice. Some people be like, I beg, I can learn this thing by myself. I don't want to. Where has that gotten most of us? It's so hard because life continues to demand a lot from you. You continue to have increased responsibilities. As you grow older, responsibilities, even if you don't have a family, you will still have more responsibilities, and it just becomes increasingly harder to learn anything. So you need hands-on training, because recruiters that are going to start reaching out to you after you learn cloud, they want people that have practical experience. What have you done? That's the question they will ask you. You need real-world projects that will help you to stand out. You actually need to fast track your job readiness by getting hands-on training. So that's what I don't want you to make mistakes that other beginners make. So can you get started? You need to get trained, get hands-on experience, and you work on projects. And how do you go from for that? How do you get there? We are here to help you. I don't just tell people what to do. We actually have a system in place to take you on that journey. We've been doing this for many years at Cloud Booster, and we've helped a number of people, to get jobs, to transform their career life, to earn more. Some of you are here, it's not because you don't have a good job, but you're probably underpaid. If you can earn double your salary, why continue in a job where you're earning below your potential? So you can actually switch to a job that will give you more, and that the trajectory is also high. It's very important. I tell people, it's okay. Some people, even salaries, I've said some of you are on the salary already. And what I say is that in that job you're doing, in the next 2 years, what could your salary be? Could you double your salary? Each time I've changed jobs like 3 times as a cloud engineer. I've not gotten anything less than 50% increase, sometimes even double, because of how the market is, how the potential is, and how the more you know, the more experienced you are, the more people are willing to pay you. So we have something special for you if you're ready to go to the next level, because again, this is not a case of people, us just telling you, you need to learn cloud, you need to learn cloud. So how are you going to learn it? We are here. We have our curriculum tested and trusted. We have our students at Cloud Booster. You can look at their profile on LinkedIn as well. You see people that have passed through our academy, they'll tell you about their experience with us. So we have something special for you. So what we're doing is, if you're still wondering, I don't know, because what we actually primarily do at Cloud Booster, we take you on an 18-week journey where you go from zero to actually getting the knowledge you need to land your first job. But what we're offering you today is you can join us for a 1-day boot camp. If you're still thinking, I don't know if this cloud is for me, you want to work on, what would you get from the boot camp? Practical hands-on cloud computing training experience. You learn from experts, you build your first cloud project in a day. You know how I said you can actually spin up a whole computer on cloud computing and you can access it from anywhere? You will actually do that. So you know that I'm not lying. And then you get step-by-step guidance on how to land your first job. So I'm inviting you for our 1-day boot camp, which it's gonna be happening. Now, our 1-day boot camp is happening in April. I'll show you the details shortly. I would invite you to join it. But before then, I just wanted to hear some of our students' experience, right? People that have gone through Cloud Booster and what they had to say about our training.
Literally turned non-tech background guys to competent cloud guys now. When I started cloud with Cloud Booster, the first 2 classes were like, okay, it sounded like, okay, I'm another word entirely, but literally, I was able to catch up eventually, and here we are today. I want to say a big thank you to everybody, especially our facilitators, our teachers. I want to say thank you so much. So having some technical background, I was not completely sure what to expect in terms of how deeply technical we are going to get at, but I knew it was a tech career path, and it's going to take us somewhere. Having this knowledge and understanding from Cloud Booster has given me personally level of confidence. And at least when I see most job posts and they mention what their requirements, from everything I've learned from Cloud Booster, so why should I be scared of anything? Choosing Cloud Booster was never a mistake. I think I made the right decisions, one of the best decisions that I've made in my life. Shout out to my group members, Rainbow Fingers. You built me up, and I studied harder. And thank you. And today I'm AWS certified, giving ourselves that community. Yeah, and we are still there today. We still talk, and and it's really been helpful.
So that's one of our students. We had Tosin as well, who joined us in, she was in Nigeria when she started November 2021. And by May 2022, she already landed her dream job in the UK, right? She's one of our instructors at Cloud Booster. And we have many people, because of time, we have Omolara as well, who had, background in English. And now she's been a professional for over 3 years. We have Bukola, we have Daniel, we have so many people. So I just want to encourage you, register for our boot camp. 1-day boot camp, you get to answer lots of your questions. So I'm going to go straight into your Q&A now. If you want to register for a 1-day boot camp, this is what to do. Send boot camp to this WhatsApp number. And it's only, instead of charging you £100, if our training is even more than £100 for a day, we're actually going to just charge you £10 registration fee, now £9.99. And you're going to be with us for like half a day, like 9 till around 1 p.m. And you're going to experience what our Cloud Booster classes look like. So do this, send bootcamp to this WhatsApp number, and we'll let you know what the next step is. It's just £10, and it will give you insight into what we're talking about. You'll be able to visualize, you'll be able to experience it. You experience the level of support that we have at Cloud Booster. So it's happening on 5th of April, 2025, 9 a.m. UK time, we get started, and then you are going to actually join us you're going to be a part of a boot camp. It simulates what our live classes look like, and then you get to experience building on the cloud. So we're going to leave this in the chat box now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can go through your questions, because I can see really nice questions coming in, and then we'll ensure that we finish this all within an hour. So send bootcamp to us. Trust me, the £10 is just registration fee. It's nothing to do with how much value you're going to get much more value than what you're paying. But we want people that are serious, people that are ready, people that are ready to, make that commitment. So join us for our 1-day boot camp. As you're sending us the message, we're giving you the next steps on WhatsApp. So send it to this WhatsApp number, £10, £9.99. You're going to be with us for our 1-day boot camp, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then you experience the world of cloud. So let's go to your questions. Again, use Slido for your questions so that we can easily find it. So I can see really, really cool questions here. I'm just gonna get started. So someone is asking, do companies offer visa sponsorship for cloud professionals? Yes, they do. I have always been on visa sponsorship because of my cloud knowledge. The same thing, we have people who have come to share their experiences at Cloud Booster. They've gotten sponsorship. I can't mention their names for confidential reasons, but of course, because at the end of the day, a company will choose to sponsor you when they feel like you have sufficient value to offer. So, and I'm an example. I've always been on visa sponsorship until, of course, I completed my my journey and actually was able to, yeah. So anyway, how long can it take for me to master cloud DevOps on an average? So what we do at Cloud Booster is we tell you to plan for at least 4 to 6 months. It depends on how serious you are. You can actually get it done in 3 months. If you're going to go all in, you're all available. What we do at Cloud Booster is that the program is for 4.5 months, 18 weeks. We found that as a sweet spot that is enough. So people have done the training. Some people get jobs immediately. Some people get jobs 1 month after, 2 months after, 3 months after, it depends. But I would say plan for 4 to 6 months, for you to actually master the concepts that are enough for you to get a job. You can't learn everything. You just need what will get you on a job. What's the tendency of me getting a job on cloud? Depends. I always tell people, as much as we have partnerships with companies, we give you everything you need. It depends on you. We want you to take the training seriously and be able to. One thing I can tell you is that a number of people who have worked with us at Cloud Booster, a lot of people who have worked with us at Cloud Booster have been able to get job opportunities, and you can get it. But it's dependent on you, okay? Someone is saying, I'm actually interested in cloud security. Yeah, come on board, sign up for our boot camp. I'm a 37-year-old blue worker in the UK. I've never learned anything tech related. Can I transition? Yes, you can. I've done blue collar jobs in the UK as well. The only thing I will say, and we have a lot of people in this category who actually come to us, we just need you to be ready and determined, honestly. You need to know that there's nothing wrong with doing blue collar jobs. Like I said, I've done it. When I tell people there's no kind of job I've not done in the UK, some people don't believe me. I knew what I did to stay back, during my master's time. I always say when I came to my master's, we didn't even have 2-year post-study visa. I had to get a job with sponsorship. I was so desperate. I was ready to do anything legally possible. I had to make money. I had to be able to, you know, get myself access to the right things that I needed to get a job. So don't worry about 37. We've had people 40-year-olds do our training. The maximum age we had recently was a 60-year-old woman who did that training, right? So don't be discouraged. If you know that it's time for you to get your next level, you can do more. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing right now, but when you're ready for the next level, you can sign up. So that's not a discouraging factor. You can actually still join in. Wow, baby, I'm sold already. I recently moved to the UK from Nigeria. I'm currently in a morgue. Please, do you do installments? I need a new career. Yes, we have installment payment. We've planned for you. Don't worry. We understand, right? And we want you to come on board. So yes, we have installment payment plan. Just reach out to us. We can actually help you if you're ready to sign up for the major training. Our next training is actually, some of you, if you're ready to go straight to the you know, you're ready to do our 18 weeks bootcamp, you can reach out to us as well. Let us know what you want. You want to do 1 day bootcamp, you want to do 18 weeks. Some people have actually started paying their installments already. So before the training starts, you know, please someone remind me of the training dates. I believe our training, our next quarter is starting first Saturday in May. Please correct me if I'm wrong. October 13th. First Saturday in May is where our training is starting. So if you want to start putting down money for your 18 weeks training, you can actually reach out to us as well. So let us know exactly what you want. You have enough time to actually put down some money, sufficient enough to get started. And during your training, you can pay the remaining as well. So we have installment payment plan available. Just reach out to us, reach out to the UK number that is there, okay? Please keep your questions on Slido. Please, can I take part in the discounts if I pay next Monday? Reach out to us on, reach out to Program Advisor and we'll take that question. So 1 second, someone is asking, please bear with me. Someone is asking, okay, we've covered sponsorship. What cloud platform should I start with as a beginner? You can, at Cloud Booster, what we teach is AWS, right? And we tell you that once you learn AWS, you can learn other cloud platforms. So what we do is we teach AWS, but you can start with anyone that you decide. You know, you can start with anyone. One thing I'll say is that just start with one cloud provider. Don't try and learn cloud, AWS, Microsoft Azure, GCP, everything together. No. You know, go ahead and learn just one. We do AWS, and during the bootcamp, I'll tell you the reason why we actually teach AWS, but you can learn just one and then you can get started, okay? I really want to transition. What makes Cloud Booster different from other training providers? Very good question. I've talked about most of it already. You can see that we are very particular about hands-on. We give you a reference after you finish with us. We teach you how you can actually get known and get seen with the skills that you learn. And the 1 day bootcamp I'm saying is you actually have a taster into the world of what your training would look like, what your 18 weeks would look like. So come and spend half a day with us on 5th of April. And you would actually be able to see what our training looks like and why it's different from other trainings out there, okay? How can I learn cloud computing while working full-time? We've planned for you. Everybody that signs up for our training, they usually have a full-time job that they are doing. So don't worry, it's fine. Now that even the retired are reskilling, is there an age limit to this shift? You're right, the retired are reskilling, there is no age limit. Are there installment payment plan for the course? Yes, there are. Is cloud computing just for tech professionals or anyone can learn it? Anyone can learn it. What's different between cloud computing and regular IT support? So when we talk about IT support, there are usually specialties around you. What exactly are you supporting with? So you find some people that they say they are supporting with Microsoft 365 Office tools. So if, for example, an organization has issues with their Microsoft Word, Microsoft this, they actually offer support. But if you're a cloud support engineer, you're actually supporting another organization with cloud-specific issues. That's the difference. So there's usually a specialty with IT support. Someone is saying, how does cloud computing relate to AI, machine learning, and big data? I love that question. Come for our 1 day bootcamp. But what I would say is that usually cloud is the infrastructure. Cloud is like the house that hosts all these things. So data is stored on the cloud. Processing is done to the data while it is on the cloud. Because cloud computing, the cloud providers like AWS, they already have various kinds of databases. 2 weeks ago, I taught one of our cohorts on databases. You know, we already have different kinds of databases that can help to process a lot of data. So what cloud computing does is it's like the house where data is hosted. So even with the rise of data, when they say data is a big field, is on the rise, it is true. But cloud computing becomes even more relevant because that data needs to be processed somewhere. The same thing with machine learning. Machine learning is using information from data and making informed decision. Machine learning is what happens to you when you go on Instagram and they say, because you follow this person, or you go on YouTube and they say, because you watch this video, watch this other video. So what these platforms are doing is that they're getting data from you and they're processing it. What would this person like? Based on the information we have about them. This person spent 3 minutes on this image. They spent 5 seconds on this image. That's data being processed. All of that data needs to be stored somewhere, stored on the cloud. Now, where all the data is on the cloud, the data being processed, right, is now where we talk about machine learning about the end user, making and predicting what your future behavior would be based on the information they have about you. So it's really, really cool. They are really integrated and cloud continues to be relevant regardless. So let's see other questions people are asking. What certificate should I get to demonstrate my cloud knowledge? So what we say is that if you're starting and you want to get a job, do the first architect training, architect certification. For AWS is the AWS Solutions Architect certification. That's the one you should get. What hands-on system do you have in place? Can you highlight this? I'm sure I've covered that question already. When is the one-day booster session? I missed that. So it's happening on 5th of April. Please, can we put the information in the chat box, our program advisors? Please put that information in the chat box. So 5th of April, that is when the bootcamp is going to run. Join us, 9 a.m. UK time. Okay, and it's going to be the same as Nigerian time as at that time. So what platforms do you teach? We teach AWS. And like I say, once you learn AWS, you can learn other cloud providers. So that doesn't limit you, but we have to start from somewhere so you don't get confused. Once you understand one platform, you can easily understand the others. I joined late. Can I ask what the target roles will be? Is it cloud engineer or cloud architect, please? It depends on the path you want to go. But we give you enough knowledge to actually be able to go into any of those different paths. So it now depends on what your preferences are and also what opportunities you get. I tell people not to limit themselves at this stage because the key thing is for you to get a job. So if the job that is available is cloud architect, make sure you do it. If the job that is available is cloud platform or cloud DevOps, make sure you do it. So I hope that helps. Is there any special price for people in Nigeria? The one-day bootcamp price is the same. It's £10 and it's 20,000 naira. Yeah, it's £10. If you're in Nigeria, just reach out to us. It's £10 for people in Nigeria. So I think it's around 20,000 naira for people in Nigeria. So it's really a good price. It's really a good price. What's the difference between cloud computing and data engineering? Since data engineering program covers cloud computing like Azure, that's a good question. But there's no way a data program will just tell you that your data is stored. They'll just tell you that okay, you can store your data on the cloud. They cannot go deep into what cloud is. So cloud is the infrastructure. You need to know how to build solutions on the cloud. You need to know what services are available on the cloud. Data is just an aspect. It's just a little part of what happens on the cloud. So they're two different things. What is cloud computing? I've spent today talking about what cloud computing is. So I hope I've answered that question already. How can I secure an internship as someone who has knowledge in DevOps and AWS? So if you already have knowledge and what you're looking to do is to actually get an internship opportunity, I'll say you have to be visible. What does your CV look like? What does your LinkedIn profile look like? All those things are very important. You have to post on LinkedIn. You have to let recruiters notice you. You have to post projects you've been working on. You need to be prepared to do interviews. All of these things will help you boost your chance of getting a job opportunity, okay? So I think I've answered the questions I've seen. For the price, I was asking about the 18 weeks bootcamp, or if there's a special price for Nigerians, please reach out to us on WhatsApp. If you're in Nigeria and you want to pay for the 18 weeks bootcamp, reach out to us on WhatsApp. We'll give you details about that. Reach out to us because the exchange rate continues to change. So we'll get back to you on that. Please, I hope I've answered all the questions. I've already answered all the questions I can see here. Will cloud computing enhance your career as a data engineer? Yes, it will. So we have people who did data maybe in their university and, you know, they were unable to get data jobs. They added cloud computing to their skills and it helps them to actually get a data job better. Because now, if you look at data job specifications, some of them are asking for cloud knowledge because now, like I said, a lot of data is being stored on the cloud. So if you know cloud and you know data, then it helps you to actually enhance your skills. So that brings us to the end of our bootcamp today. I think I've covered all the questions that I've seen here. If you feel like I haven't answered your question, please go ahead and someone is saying, I'm currently, okay, I think this question came in before today, but yeah, that's fine. Let me just quickly, I'm currently pregnant. I'm looking to join the program. Would you recommend it? By the time baby comes, I'd like to be prepared to work in the field. So pregnancy should not limit you in any way, please. Sign up. We usually get into the, I mean, because we're helping people one-on-one, so we usually get into the details of what people are going through and all of that. We try to support people on a personal level, you know. So if you actually feel like you have a special circumstance and all of that, we just keep an eye on you. But if this is really what you want to do, please, why not go for it? At the end of the day, you want your children to have a really good life. You want to be able to earn a lot. So it may be a bit stretching. I know it's not easy. I mean, I just had a baby myself, so I understand the whole journey, but I would encourage you to still, you know, sign up. So laptop specification, you just need to have a good laptop. You can reach out to us again. We have a screenshot that shows you the laptop specification. We'll send it to you. You're going to receive a certificate of completion after you finish with us at Cloud Booster. And that helps you. You also get a recommendation letter because all that helps you. What we actually say is that when you finish your 8 weeks training with us, it actually serves as your work experience. So all that training experience serves as work experience. And then you go on and say you've actually worked with us at Cloud Booster for that 18 weeks period. And then that helps you to actually get your first opportunity. While a registered company in the UK, we've been able to build our credibility because of our students' past record. So that actually helps you to actually, so what you do with us is like an internship, right? And then that helps you, you can leverage that to actually get other opportunities. So, okay, I have to close now because I promised you it's going to be 1 hour, but let me just take this last question. Even though we told you to ask your questions on Slido, but someone is saying I won't be able to make the bootcamp. But will there be details specific? Where will you detail specifics of the course, like models, projects, etc. for our 18 weeks bootcamp? We actually have a brochure that, please can you reach out to the program advisor? We have a brochure that shows you exactly what we offer for the 18 weeks bootcamp. So reach out to us, we'll send that across to you. And again, we also have another bootcamp coming up after that. Just reach out. If you feel like I haven't answered your question, please reach out to us on WhatsApp with that question so you can actually get a more personalized answer. But I want all of you to sign up for our one-day bootcamp. Let's take you on that journey. Thank you so much for your time with us today. I answered the questions I saw on Slido. Hopefully, that has been helpful. Again, reach out to us. Our bootcamp is on 5th of April, 2025. You're actually going to spend the day with us, half a day with us, build solutions on the cloud and see what our training looks like. If you want to find out more about 18 weeks program, you're in Nigeria, exchange rates, installment plans, things like that, reach out to us. Our program advisor will give you the information that you need. Thank you very much. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. I know it's Friday. Some of you already have Friday plans, so we're not keeping you longer than planned. Enjoy the rest of your day. And the recording will be available. It will be shared with you on whether on email or if you're in one of our WhatsApp group, you'll get it. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everyone. Thank you.